it has been proven like time and time again, right, that a small start can turn to a much larger movement. We all have potential to give life to the greatness within us, and we just need to look at the plethora of opportunities around us and get involved. I also have days wherein I sometimes struggles with the likes of imposter syndrome and severe anxiety as well. I'm also human. The event literally changed my perspective on my own capacity and capability to make a positive impact on the world. It is very important to learn and become better with every experience, and you're bound to come across your avenues for success.
First of all, welcome to Empower Interview. Thank you so much for joining in. Let's start with a quick introduction. Zain is a 19-year-old robotic enthusiast in pursuit of making lives better via innovation. He has worked on various projects, his most notable one being ExoHeal restraining your brain with robots, which garnered international recognition as well. He's a roboticist, an artist, a poet, a YouTuber, a photographer, you name it, he has done it. Thank you so much for joining in, Zain. It really means a lot that you are here.
Okay, it's my pleasure.
So let's start off with the questions. My first question to you will be, at the age of 19, being able to keep your hand on so many things, does it feel pressurizing or independent?
I'd say that it's been a passion of mine to try and do whatever that excites me or whatever that makes me feel basically gives life to my being. Okay, so keeping my hands on a lot of these things such as robotics, painting, or poetry, it allows me to express my truth in various forms, and that eventually leads to me trying to fulfill my dreams. So I wouldn't say it's pressurizing, but it helps me feel more independent. It helps to be more of myself.
Right, so it just makes you feel better, right, about yourself.
Yes, I'd say that it makes me feel better about myself. Yeah.
And out of all those things, if you had to choose just one thing to go with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
If I had to choose one thing for the rest of my life, it would have to be robotics. I have a commitment to fulfill, which is to one day make a humanoid robot that could take care of all of my mother's chores, giving her free time for herself and help other mothers around the world as well. So I'd say that it would have to be robotics.
That's an amazing dream and thought. That's very thoughtful.
Thank you.
Since you have achieved so many things already in various fields, what is your favorite achievement so far?
I'd say that my favorite achievement has to be being selected as a global finalist in the Google Science Fair. The event literally changed my perspective on my own capacity and capability to make a positive impact on the world. It also instilled a sense of confidence within me, which I lacked before. And yet, at the same time, it's also what kickstarted my journey as well. So I'd say that it would have to be the Google Science Fair.
All right. And is there a memory or something, very significant that happened there that you would like to share with us?
Something significant that happened there. Okay. So one thing that I had noticed, okay, at the global level, which we don't really get to see in India or in India schools, is that like everybody is focusing rather than what you make, they all focus on who you actually are as a person. Okay, and your capability and capacity to make change. So the conversation entirely switches to not your work, to not just your work, but to you as well. Okay, so what else are you capable of? All right, and that is one thing that really piqued my interest, and it made me feel, and it gave me a sense of belonging to a community as well.
There's a lot of discussion on robotics as well as art these days. Like do you think that being a roboticist is the same as being an artist? Like, is it also a kind of a art or a skill? What does it more, lean towards?
Okay. So to me, being a roboticist is more about creating something that accomplishes a defined task or a set of tasks, whereas being an artist is an expression of self through a medium such as poetry or painting to invoke a variety of feelings in the audience and myself as well. Being a roboticist and artist to me is a complementary in so many different ways. Whereas creating art gives life to my creativity, robotics helps me materialize it. It helps me actually feel what you call or feel what I am trying to accomplish. So yeah, so yeah, in my opinion, these both fields are quite complementary.
Which one is, more of your passion? Which one do you do it,
Ah,
Hmm.
okay, more of my passion. Okay, so that's a really tough question to answer. Okay, I get really hyped. I get really hyped up about making robots, about accomplishing something with them. But yet at the same time, being an artist helps me express my own truth in so many different ways that I wouldn't have even imagined. Okay, like literally, if I look at any of my poems, I cannot believe that I've written any of those. If I look at any of my art, I can't believe that I've made that. Okay, and it's just something that naturally comes to me. So so first and foremost, I would have to say that it would be being an artist and then being a roboticist.
Do you incline yourself more towards earning a living out of your passion, or just being passionate about it because you enjoy yourself?
Hmm. Uh, I'm inclined towards enjoying my passions because at the end of the day, I recall events and experiences in my head that make me feel fulfilled. Okay, I believe that working in a field that you're progressively passionate about, okay, is very important as it will constitute a major part of your life, which in essence would enable me to find different ways of making a living out of my passion as well. I hope to one day be able to monetize my other passions such as art and poetry. So yeah, like it's more about enjoying yourself through your passions, but it's also important to earn a living at the same time as well.
Yeah. So just one question that I was very personally very uh, like excited about was that I'm pretty sure there are a lot of 19-year-olds out there who are struggling to reach where you are right now.
Mhm.
So, what are your thoughts on it, and do you have any message for them?
So in my opinion, all right, many potential change makers given to the fear of not being capable enough to create a significant difference. However, as it has been proven like time and time again, all right, that a small start can turn to a much larger movement. For instance, my first big step was applying to the Google Science Fair. I still vividly remember showing to my mom that I hadn't done a good job with my submission, that I should be working more on the project, and that I would make more advancements, perform more tests, and apply next year. Yeah, I vividly remember that thought. But then, to my surprise, my seniors who and here's also the thing, all right. I was so close to not even applying at all. But to my surprise, my seniors who applied that year, they intrigued my competitive side and they convinced me to apply with them as well. And to my surprise, once again, I got selected as a global finalist. I had no clue, and I was not expecting that at all. All right. And the point that I'm trying to make over here is that we all have potential to give life to the greatness within us and we just need to look at the plethora of opportunities around us and get involved. So, so what I'm trying to say is that it is very important to learn and become better with every experience, and you're bound to come across your avenues for success.
That's extremely inspiring for me personally as well.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much for saying that, and kudos to your seniors for giving you that push. Yeah, so the market and economy is constantly changing and clashing among the artistic and the scientific professions. And since you have a hold on both
Mhm.
of these professions, which one is more prospering in nature according to you?
So I believe that the value that art brings into this world is quite irreplaceable by anything else. It's human nature to express and experience distinct feelings and emotions through various mediums of art. in today's day and age, basically, virtual art pieces are also being sold for millions of dollars. The era of art has been rapidly changing, but despite all of that, I still believe that scientific professions are more progressive in nature. Because with scientific progress comes the capacity to impact millions of people in so many positive ways as well. So yeah, so I believe that so in a way I believe that both of these have a symbiotic relationship as well. But then yet at the same time, it's more important to focus on scientific progress, because that is what's going to help us make the world a better place.
So you do incline more towards the scientific professions, right?
Yeah.
So yes, so you have been nominated as a global team leader in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this title mean to you?
Okay. So if I recall correctly, being nominated as a global team leader was an amazing honor. Okay, it is one of the key milestones in my life, and I'm forever grateful to the VR Family Foundation. However, I'd like to add that the experience of being a part of this global community of change makers and the concept of having a family found are what had a deeper meaning. The Just Peace Summit was a turning point in my life. The things I have discovered and the relationships that I have formed as a change maker have helped me to recognize the plethora of emotions in the people around me and develop a mindset of togetherness that allows me to basically transcend and achieve more than I ever could. I've also gained a renewed sense of appreciation for connection and support through my family, friends, and collaborators.
Do you recollect how you initially felt when that title was given to you?
Oh, okay, yeah. So, that title was initially given to me. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like, so I had to go through a series of rounds, and when I finally got that email that I was finally selected, I was so freaking happy because here's the thing, all right.
Yeah.
Any other global team leader you ask, nobody's going to tell you what exactly happens at the event. They all have the same answer. They're like, you have to experience it yourself. Okay, so I was going into this having no clue of what was going to happen, and I absolutely loved that because I love surprises. So so I was like fully hyped and thrilled for this.
All right. And now that you reminisce that entire experience,
Mm-hmm.
that how you initially felt about it, and what that title meant to you back then, and now, is
Mm-hmm.
it still the same, or with experience, your how you looked at it has changed?
Mm-hmm. With experience. I believe my worldview on that event still has not changed by much. It still remains one of it still remains a it still remains a key part of with my own timeline within my life, and the connections that I have fostered then are still are still so strong, and I could literally hit up anyone, and we can have an and we can have like a and we can have like a conversation for hours and hours. Now, I absolutely love the community that I'm a part of, and it's just so wholesome to me.
Well, congratulations on that title. You totally
Thank
deserve
you.
it. So, one of the last questions that I had was that what is your message to our readers and to the students?
hmm So, I believe that each and every one of us has the potential to use our abilities to benefit humanity. So, we should never stop asking questions, because you never know what wonders lie ahead.
Okay, so how can people find you or connect to you if they have any questions or if they want to ask you about something?
hmm
So
Okay.
where can they?
Yes. Okay, so I'm most active on Instagram. My handle is at the rate Zain Nemesis, and then you can find me active on LinkedIn as well. Or if you want to directly get in touch with me, you can contact me via my website, which is zansamdani.org.
All right, cool. And anything else would you like to add?
Okay, So as we are going through this interview, a few things that popped up in my mind were it can be easy to look at high achieving teens for just their achievements, okay? And this inevitably places a falsified image of perfection and excellence on them, all right, including me. Everybody goes through internal struggles, and I'm not an exception to it either. I find ways to introspect using art and poetry, and that is why these mediums are so important to me. And they just naturally help me to express the deepest part of my heart, mind, and soul. I also have days wherein I sometimes struggles with the likes of imposter syndrome and severe anxiety as well. I'm also human. Okay, it's not that high achieving teens have everything figured out. I'm still figuring things out as I move along. And so the point over here that I'm trying to make is that it's okay to feel that way. All right, it's okay to feel down sometimes. It's okay to feel lost. As long as you're trying to get over these things, you're still on the right path. This year, so an example for me would be this year I painted a piece called Breakout, which visualizes a variety of emotions and feelings in regards to mental health. It took more than 6 years to complete. Sorry, it took more than 6 months to complete, and it's basically a collaboration that I made with, I believe, 11 to 12 of different people from around the globe. So yeah,
That's
just
pretty impressive.
just be yourself.
That's amazing. So you did an amazing job with this interview as well. Every answer of yours was as interesting and inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you so much for coming here and just lending us your time. It really means a lot to us.
Oh yes, it's absolutely my pleasure.
Thank you so much. So we'll be ending the interview on this wonderful note. And thank you so much,
Okay.
Zain. You're an amazing person and an amazing
Thank you.
professional.
Thank you so much, Tanvi, for that.